Hey everybody, it's the coach, and this is Madden 19 on EA Sports. Up next, we've got what should be a great matchup between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Washington Redskins. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
And, Coach, we find ourselves due east from our nation's capital at FedEx Field in Landover, Maryland. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Washington Redskins. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, we look at this Redskin team as they enter play here. They were winners last time out, so they'll be looking, Charles, to make it 2 in a row.
And what I enjoyed when I watched their game tape and their victory last week is they put it together in every phase. Good offense, good defense, and some key plays on special teams. Let's see if they can get that second win in a row.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Eagles, they've come in on a nice run of recent form, 4 wins out of 5.
And the offense, my goodness, over 50 points in the win last weekend. When you do that, you're not going to lose very many games, maybe not any games.
Two teams trying to stake their claim to postseason football. Week 14 of the NFL is underway. Fielded about a yard deep. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. So out comes the Redskins offense now onto the field. They'll be led out by the #1 overall selection back in 2005 out of the University of Utah. It's Alex Smith.
And it felt like in watching the game tape, he got everyone involved last week.
He was a manager.
He really was. That's a great way to put it because they ran the ball some. They threw it accurately. 1 touchdown pass, so he didn't, break the bank doing that, but he didn't throw any interceptions. That's the bottom line. That's why a defense loves a quarterback like that. Doesn't put them in bad situations.
That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. So a look here at the key inactives, and we got this list before the game down on the field. And they tell us the same thing every time, don't they? Next man up.
No excuses. Be ready to play. That's the mantra of every organization. The key is having guys on the roster who are capable of filling in and playing at a high level. That's when you know you've drafted well, scouted free agents well, and stocked your team just the way you're supposed to.
Timmy Jernigan, the Florida State man, in on the stop. And here a look at the offensive starters for the Redskins.
Former 4th-round pick out of Duke is Jamison Crowder. Now, he doesn't grab a lot of headlines, but he's been quietly dependable for his first 3 years in the league. Shifty, excellent route runner from the slot position, finds his way open and catches the football. Yeah, he's dependable. Quarterbacks love to throw to him.
A big 3rd down conversion with a gain of 28.
Well, for teams that like to play man coverage, running corner routes can be tough on them because of the ability of getting into it. Sometimes you're squaring it off. Sometimes you're just rounding it. Sometimes there's a fake. Sometimes there's not. That makes it very, very difficult for a DB to stay with it.
From the 50, it's Smith. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. They'll run. This is Brown. And he stopped immediately there. No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10.
When you try to create space for your running back, the first thought is how physical is the offensive line. Sometimes it's just positioning. On that play, it didn't matter about positioning or being physical. The defensive front, they out-leveraged them and won the battle.
And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. A shotgun snap for Smith. Eagle pressure, too much this time. Down he goes. Fletcher Cox able to drop him for a loss of 12, and it'll be 4th down.
Well, we knew this guy wasn't especially fleet of foot, but he tried to conjure up some escapability, but there was no way he was getting away on that one.
So on fourth down, the Redskins will call on Tressway to punt it away. They'll run it now out of the gun. And they'll get him down up past the 15-yard line. The numbers for him from a week ago, 11 carries, 85 yards.
After the last game, they have plenty of reason to be confident in their running game. And even though they're facing a top 10 defense, they're not going to shy away from doing what they do best. Make them adjust to them. Make them stop what they do before they go to any type of a change-up.
And he goes across the 20 to the 22. Tackle made there by Zach Brown.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fix and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive.
How best to describe that one? I'd say right down Broadway on that run.
A straight-ahead running. I think that might be something we see a lot of between the tackles today.
Well, he's enjoying things so far here this afternoon. Sees a crease and bursts through it for a solid gain.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Give him 11 yards that time and a new set of downs.
And that's a run that'll energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
Shorty. Lion.
On first down, Wentz. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Back-to-back 11-yard gains, and they've got another first down. Solid catch there for a man who's been so brilliant this year. Worth pointing out, as we were talking about earlier, there has never in the 60-year history of the award been a pass catcher, tight end, or wide receiver that has taken home the MVP trophy.
And the best receivers I've talked with, they know that stat, and it drives them crazy because they understand that without a quarterback, they don't make the plays that they make. They also don't feel like they get enough credit for bailing out some of the throws the quarterbacks make.
Absolutely. It takes two to tango. Now Wentz throwing on second down. Over the middle, and it's incomplete.
They'll put a check mark in the box where the defense coordinator was saying, how well can we stay with these receivers if we're in man coverage? Because he just did it on that one. Force the incompletion. That allowed him to get bolder with his pass rush, won't it?
Absolutely. Frees up your guys elsewhere. Now play number 7 of the drive as they're looking at a 3rd and 10.
Other side, solid.
From the gun, it's Wentz. Throwing left side, it's complete. And he's going to get this down near the 30-yard line. 17 yards on the pickup there, and the drive will continue.
I don't believe that this opening drive is surprising to either one of us after the time we spent with the coaching staff and players prior to the game. What about you?
Absolutely. Not only that, but that big article in the paper this morning about their philosophy on starting games like you're shot out of a cannon, and that's what they've done. Very methodical here in this first drive.
Yeah, so many teams talk about that fast start. We're actually seeing it happen right here in front of us.
But now the kicker. Can they cap it off by putting the ball in the end zone? Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
Win spot three.
Again, it's Wentz. And he's going to be grabbed and pulled down. Matt Ioannidis in there to bring him down for a loss of 7.
Enough takes a start to have a good drive. Quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
Come on. Two jet.
Now Wentz on third down. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. And this is caught. Touchdown, Philadelphia. As his guys are in for 6. And the Eagles have taken the early lead. A diving catch for the score he laid out. That was special.
And you know the first thing they're going to check, right? Did he complete the process of the catch? All the way through, all the way to the ground. Ball doesn't hit the ground without control in his hands. All of that, yes. Check the box, touchdown.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20. So out now come the Redskins. And hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win first down. You win second down. And guess what? You start accumulating first downs. And that's what they need in order to not punt the ball again.
And he's going to lose yardage here. Back to his own 18. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And that'll make it 2nd and 12. First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. They'll run it here with Brown. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down.
Some of these play calls, I think they're a little conservative.
Back live, Charles Davis to my right. I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's Redskin football to begin quarter number 2. They do, however, have a tough 3rd and long coming up. From the gun, here's Smith. He's going to look deep down the field. So they took a shot there on 3rd down, couldn't get it. Now it's 4th. Earlier in the quarter when the defense was keying on the run, you said offensively they need to open things up, take some shots downfield. Didn't work there, but they did it.
Yeah, I'm not going to change my tune now. I still think it's the right play because when you take those shots downfield, you open the eyes of the defense to what you could do to them, and that may open some things up for you offensively.
Wentz and the Eagles now with a 1st and 10 at their 35-yard line. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 45. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be 2nd down.
I know the toss play begins with the guy taking the snap and turning around and tossing it to the runner. But where the real intrigue is, can they seal the edge? Whether it's an offensive tackle or a tight end in the direction they want to run the football. If they do that, that's the result that you get, that type of a gain. If they don't, oftentimes it's not a very successful play.
5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Throwing on first is Wentz. Wide open receiver complete. Touchdown, Philadelphia. A big play there with touchdown number 23 here on the year. And the Eagles had 6 to their lead. That's an early touchdown grab for last week's NFC Offensive Player of the Week. He was so electric, and they talked about it all week long. Have to try to contain it.
And now for him, being able to focus on the task at hand and not just immediately assume that last week it totally carries over, but you got to like the start that he has, showing those great hands that we've seen from him throughout.
This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And as this offense makes their way back out, it's AFC playoff race time as we give you a look. As we take a look at the playoff picture, and certainly a lot of jostling still to go in these final few weeks. For the moment, they would be a wild card team, far from locked up, but that's why this is exciting. These last few weeks, a lot to play for.
Yeah, exciting for us because we get to talk about it, and, you know, at the end of the day, 6 teams are going to go from each conference, and guess what? We're going to have a playoffs. But nerve-wracking for all the people involved, all the teams, because their goal is to get there. And anything less than that makes the season a disappointment. So they've got to be primed now for a big finish to their season.
to throw, Smith. No chance to get away there for Smith as he goes down. Jordan Hicks in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit him with a screen soon.
He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And down he'll go at the 25. It's a gain of 6 on the play, and that's going to bring up a 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high-percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
A very good return there. Give him an even 20 yards. And the Eagles will have it, taking over 1st and 10. Wentz and the Eagles now with a 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line.
Lefty, lefty.
Now Wentz. And this is Ertz with it, right side. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. First play of the drive going for 14 and a 1st down. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Pretty nice, aggressive run there before being brought down just inside of the 30. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets them to 2nd and 4.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball, but when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
They'll run it now out of the gun, and he'll be brought down at about the 25 after a pickup of 4. Pretty good job defensively. Thought he was going to get it, but they knew where that marker was, and they stopped him just short of it.
What it does is emphasize that strategic football and situational football is not just played on the offensive side, is it? Defense understanding, as you noted, where the first down marker was and making sure they didn't get there.
Encroachment, defense.
So a jump there defensively.
And it's a killer. Watch the football.
First down.
Don't move across the line of scrimmage until the ball moves.
So forget the 3 and out. The penalty makes this 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to push his way down to about the 12. A good run there on 1st down, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 2.
That was a good run, and it got to the 2nd level. And what I mean by that is that's where the linebackers usually play. First level being the defensive front, last level being the secondary. But the strong safety position ended up making the tackle, and oftentimes we call them a hybrid. Combination defensive back, combination linebacker. We saw the linebacker make the stop.
Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
Sometimes play calls boil down to philosophy. You know you're facing one of the top 10 units against the run in the NFL. So do you decide to keep smashing against them, or do you decide to throw the ball here?
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll take it into the end zone for an Eagles touchdown. A great effort there. His 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Eagles add on to their lead. When you talk about a battle being won in the trenches, that touchdown right there, a lot of credit to the offensive linemen.
Yeah, when you watch them surge across the front, they really created great space for the runner to get in.
So that drives 7 plays in length. And in the end, the finishing touch, an 11-yard run. Elliott now to kick this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. They haven't been able to get him on track. They haven't been able to get this offense on track. No points so far.
Maybe it's time to start doing a few different things. Throwing the ball a little bit, maybe featuring other people touching it for a while, and then you get a chance to come back to it when things have changed a little bit. They have to make an adjustment.
There's still time for them here as we sit in the second quarter. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. That goes for a gain of 31. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. Back to FedEx Field following this short break. So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, Smith finds the open man. It's Mike Williams. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
We didn't need to ask around the league, but we got to confirm this guy's a good player. They've got to find a way to get him more involved, call a few more plays that target him.
Absolutely, because here we are toward the end of the first half, and that's the first target, not just the first catch, first target. And maybe they were coming with a blitz that time, and it caused a jump.
I think if we saw it, you know that they saw it. Might have been a little discussion down there. Bad guys coming. Pick them up. Pick them up. And someone jumped.
Throwing is Smith. Crowder's got it over the middle. And he gets it down to the 32. It'll be a Redskin first down as Smith hits Crowder.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route. Drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Now a first down throw. It's Smith to the sideline. Wow, what a catch. Doesn't get a lot out of it, but he is able to keep the feet in bounds. That throw good for 4. It's second down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So
blitz coming, and down he goes.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. Now Smith, man open left side. It's Williams. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here, as they'll stop it with a tick under a minute to go before half. Redskins with their first trip to the red zone thus far. 1st and 10 at the 19. From the red zone now, Smith. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. Now Washington going to use the second of their 3 timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. 2nd and 12 after the first down pass play went backwards for 2 yards. Out of the gun, Smith. And Reed with it over the middle. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
Well, the strategy was evident there. Get it to your tight end and make it a one-on-one play with a cornerback. Who's usually going to win that one?
The tight end, but not there.
Not in this situation. How about the corner defeating that logic and making a really nice tackle?
Throwing on 3rd down, Smith. And probably the wise decision there. No one open. He just throws it away. And that keeps the field goal on the table as it's 4th down.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
And Hauschka's kick is good. And the deficit drops now from 21 down to 18. So the 3 points here, they're still down, but they put somewhat of a dent into that lead going into the break.
Anything helps when you're trying to chip away at a lead, but they do know that they're going to need a little bit better effort in the second half.
This one fielded at the 5. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. A little over 20 seconds remaining in the half as they'll line up here 1st and 10.
Trey 15.
On 1st and 10, here's Wentz. And the Redskins do get to him. He goes down for a sack. Ryan Kerrigan, he's the one to get him, and that's sack number 7 for him on the year. Coming up now on a 2nd and 15 following that sack. They'll run it now out of the gun. And this will go as a short gain on what will be the final act of this first half. And okay, so much for our halftime break. Apparently we're going to get right back to it. So we've reached halftime here, and it's our visitors, the Eagles, leading this one. This is taken at the 3. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. Out come the Eagles now as they'll go on offense first here in the 3rd quarter. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments. And now look at him go. 20. Touchdown, Philadelphia. A big play there with another touchdown, number 24 on the year. And the Eagles had 6 to their lead.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his 2nd touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. A good hold in these wet conditions. The point after is up and good, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out comes the Washington offense as we get a look at the playoff race in the NFC. And I tell you, 4 weeks still to go, and everything is wide open, and it's fun.
And I know we always talk about, well, if the playoffs were to begin today, and then we kind of go, okay, but they're not. Let's see how it plays out. Wouldn't it be fun to play with this playoff lineup right now? Because to me, just about anyone can win this whole thing out of this grouping we currently have. And by the time we get there, it may look entirely different. First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
Now it's Brown. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Byron Jones in there to make the tackle.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. But just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive.
I don't know about you, but that almost felt like old-time football there. 3rd and 2 is not necessarily just a running down anymore. A lot of times they want to throw the ball. They went back to the roots and powered forward and got the first down.
And very little room to maneuver. He'll get this down to about the 39.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
They'll try the air now with Smith. He'll go over the middle to Reed, complete. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. They go play action here on first down. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. And they'll run it here. And an alley to run. Touchdown, Washington. A great play there with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Redskins are able to close the gap just a bit. And there the counter play proves successful for the touchdown. What typically makes a counter play in general successful, Charles?
Well, what you're trying to do, Brandon, is to get the team moving in one direction, meaning the defense, get them going in one direction and then wall them off with your blocking and bring it back in the other direction. That way, you don't actually have to punish them with your blocking. You just position them. And if you have any kind of a good back, he'll take full advantage of it and gain good yardage.
And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. The Eagles offense back out onto the field. And following that long touchdown pass, a one-play drive last time, let's see if the defense, you know they're ready. They don't want that to happen again.
And you would have thought they would have been ready the last time. That's what you work on all the time. Make sure that no one gets behind you. That's the cardinal sin of defense, not giving up the long pass. They did. Let's see how they adjust. That's pretty much meat and potatoes right there, wasn't it? Just go right at them and let your big horse charge up the middle. Not too fancy there, was it?
Nothing fancy at all, challenging that defense. And on that go-around, the offense won the challenge. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. An excellent pickup of 34 yards.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive the team towards a victory.
And he will be brought down at about the 6-yard line. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards. And he's certainly been a huge factor in this one. He's got the 2 touchdowns to his credit. Now they look to him again. He picks up the first.
Yeah, I can hear everyone saying, well, why don't you cover him, double him, triple him, do what you have to do. But sometimes.
And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia. A great effort there. His second touchdown of the game, his third on the year. And the Eagles add on to their lead. And he certainly played a pivotal role with those 2 TDs and why they're up on the scoreboard right now.
Well, someone's all about winning, aren't they? Because he's not worried about the number. Sure, it's great to have 2 touchdowns. But the bottom line is what he's doing is contributing to their lead. He wants to continue to do so.
Elliott now to kick this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. I guess they have to feel a little gratified to at least get on the board last time, but still work to do.
No doubt about it. I wonder now if they're going to try to increase the urgency a little bit, maybe pump up the pace, maybe go 2-minute. Who knows? Let's see what they decide to do.
This is Brown on the carry. And he'll take this up near the 35, maybe the 34. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
Now it's Smith off the bootleg. Got a man over the middle. It's Williams. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He can make a man or 2 miss, but that window closed quickly. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. It's a gain of 5, and just like that, it's 3rd down. The Redskins on 3rd down. 3 for 7 so far in this game. This is 3rd and 8. Again, Smith. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. A short gain there of just 4, and that'll bring up a 4th down.
They dialed up the screen pass on 3rd down, and for a second it looked like it was all going to come together, and they had a chance to pick up a 1st down, but the defense got there and finished it off.
On 4th down, Smith. And that is going to be incomplete. Jay Gruden's guys unable to convert on 4th down. And the Eagles defense able to hold. So the defense asked to stay out and get one more stop. They were able to do it, forcing the incompletion.
So on their record, that goes down as a successful play. Doesn't matter how they got there, how it happened. They got it done. They're the ones that are jubilant.
And he'll only get a yard, maybe 2, up to the 46.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. It didn't happen on that play.
And he's got it across the midfield stripe and into Washington territory. It'll be a gain of 5, but still about 3 yards shy of the 1st down marker, and now it's 3rd down.
3rd quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out. But a running game can really benefit your team right now.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And an alley to run. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. Give him 10 yards on that one, and that'll earn him a fresh set of downs.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll take it down to the 30-yard line. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short.
Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4.
Come on now. Let's go.
They'll run it now out of the gun. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get it down inside the 20 to the 18-yard line. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
Come on now. Let's go.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. It's a 10-yard gain there, and it sets them up now 1st and goal.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
Check. 53 flight. Check. 53. What's that?
They'll try and run. This is Johnson. And he's able to find some room as they get him down after a good run. A good pickup there, 7 yards, and it's going to be 2nd and goal now.
I know that every now and then we get in those meetings with coaches, and you almost want to roll your eyes when they talk about staying on schedule when they're moving the football. But would you say a 7-yard run is ahead of schedule?
4th quarter with the lead, you love that, don't you?
No doubt about it, because staying on schedule.
And that's going to be caught for an Eagles touchdown. Carson Wentz with touchdown pass number 4 on the afternoon. And the Eagles are pouring it on. And with that touchdown reception, we have a new single-season leader. We were waiting for this moment. We got to see it here.
How much fun is it that we were here to see it? And this guy is able to catch touchdown passes from everywhere. Red zone, out in the field. It didn't matter. You put in his vicinity, he carried it over the goal line.
Elliott now to kick this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. Out comes the Washington offense as we get a look at the playoff race in the NFC. Smith and the Redskins will come up now 1st and 10 at their own 23. And last time they were very fortunate, this offense. They went for it on 4, turned it over in their own territory, but the other guys held up. They didn't give up any points.
So how about the guy with the #1 headset on the sidelines, the head coach? That was planned going into it, not necessarily to not get the first down or to have the defense have to hold up.
But he trusted his defense.
Trusted his defense very much, and I think that's how he's going to play this game. Go for it. Be aggressive, because I've got the Wild Bunch backing me up over here on my own sideline.
And we'll see what his offense can do. 11 yards there as they connect on the quick slant.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. Call it a loss of 2 on the play. And it'll be 2nd and 12. Seems pretty obvious defensively a key was stopping the run game. How have they done it so successfully?
To me, it seems that these guys really did a nice job of
weaving through traffic, and now he's free. The 20, 10, and he takes it in. Touchdown, Washington. A big play there with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Redskins are able to cut into that deficit. And sometimes those slants, they can be so tough to defend after the catch. It just happens so quickly.
And really, what gets set up there is how quickly everything happens. Ball's out of the hands of the passer in a hurry, and he just takes it and goes.
He went all the way into the end zone. Now they're down big here in the 4th. They had to try the onside kick. Can't fault them for the effort at least.
No, you can't at all. And if nothing else, now you've put something that you're trying to practice, right, that you've worked on into a game situation, and now you can go back and dissect it. So if you need it again sometime, maybe you'll find a better way to do it. But, yeah, this game's pretty much done for them.
They're throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense, when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
The Eagles on 3rd down. A perfect 4 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 7. Now Wentz. And he's got his favorite target yet again. It's complete. And he'll take it into the end zone for an Eagles touchdown. In for the score. And the Eagles continue to roll. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is there bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning? Right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
This is fielded a couple yards deep. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. Out comes the Washington offense as we get a look at the playoff race in the NFC. Smith and the Redskins will come up now 1st and 10 at their own 24. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments. I think it's okay there. They didn't get a whole lot on that play, but it's nice to have a safety valve that's built like this guy. Big target, guy you can spot pretty easily. Put it on him when your other targets aren't open.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And a nice move will yield nothing as he's stopped behind the line. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down. This linebacking core, they've done a good job of keeping that running game in check, haven't they?
They certainly have, and what they'll also do when this game is over is thank the guys up front, the big defensive line, because they've kept them clean, so to speak. Not letting blockers get to them, allowing them to run to the football and keep that running game bottled up.
It'll be a gain of 4, but it won't be enough. It leaves them with a 4th down now. Here's Tressway now. He's been terrific so far. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And a nice job here on special teams. This will be down inside the 10 at the 8-yard line. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row. There were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
And strong running there gets this up over the 15-yard line. Call it a gain of 5 there on the run, but they'll remain a yard or 2 short here with 3rd down coming up. Time for a break. Back to finish it off on EA Sports after this. So it's Eagle football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. They'll run it now out of the gun. And that closed up quickly there as he gets it up only to about the 17. Just a yard on the run there, and that's going to bring us to a 4th down.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride?
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time. But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. Ooh, moving from his tight end spot there.
Do you think that perhaps the play call was for him?
A false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. A shotgun snap for Smith. This will be caught by Brown. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. That one goes for 24 yards.
And this is why trying to cover the angle route is so difficult. Anyone playing the linebacker position, when they see a running back out of the backfield widen, because he heads towards the flat first, oftentimes you widen too much and overcommit. He cuts up inside, and that's what we saw there. A nice pickup for a 1st down.
3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. And the trend continues here in the 4th like it was in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. He's had nowhere to run.
And you're probably thinking to yourself, why do they keep feeding him the football? Well, they trust him first and foremost. They do believe that over time he might actually pop one of these runs. But bottom line is he takes care of the ball well for them, so they'll keep handing it to him.
And before they can run this 3rd down play, we're going to get a timeout. As the clock shows 50 seconds to play here in quarter number 4. Smith now to throw on 3rd down. Trying to get it to Williams, but it's intercepted. Picked off by Tavon Young. And his guys are going to get the football at the 23-yard line.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And finally, he's taken down at the 18. A big play there for Philly. 59 yards for him on the ground.
Well, we're beyond the tone setting right now. This guy's been the bell cow all day, and they'll continue to rely on him to move the chains, drain the clock, and lead his team.
Well, Charles, the forecast called for rain throughout the entire game, and we got rain throughout the entire game. But these two teams, they had fun getting dirty out there. They love the slop.
Did you trust the forecast ahead of time? Are you one of those guys that's skeptical about it, or did you trust it?
But when I saw just a big blob of green on the radar, I said, okay, let's trust.
Yeah, and that's why I'm glad you took my advice. Got your notes laminated.